Your body has been hijacked by artificial light, and I'm going to prove it to you right now. What if I told you that every light bulb in your house is slowly destroying your ability to think, sleep, heal, and even see reality clearly? And what if the people who designed modern lighting knew this from the very beginning? There's a reason they replace sunlight with synthetic frequencies, and it has nothing to do with convenience. Before you think this is just another health conspiracy, let me show you something that will change how you see light forever. Your eyes aren't just cameras, they're portals. They're direct neural highways into your brain, your hormones, your DNA, and your entire biological operating system. And modern artificial light is sending the wrong signals through those portals 16 hours a day, reprogramming you into a sick, tired, confused version of yourself. And here's the disturbing part. This isn't accidental. The same people who removed sunlight from your life and replaced it with flickering LEDs and blue heavy screens know exactly what they're doing. Because when your circadian rhythm is destroyed, when your mitochondria can't produce energy, when your brain can't make the neurochemicals it needs, you become controllable. You become dependent. You become a customer for their pharmaceutical solutions, their sleep aids, their antidepressants, their productivity hacks. But here's what they don't want you knowing. There's an ancient sequence of light that your body is designed to receive. A specific pattern of wavelengths that happens naturally every single day in nature. Red at dawn, full spectrum at noon, amber at dusk, darkness at night. This sequence doesn't just help you see, it programs your entire biology, it sets your circadian clock. It triggers hormone cascades, it activates healing mechanisms, it synchronizes every cell in your body to the rhythm of the planet, and they took it away from you. They replaced it with constant artificial blue light that tells your body it's noon at midnight, that confuses your brain into thinking the sun never sets. That keeps you in a permanent state of artificial wakefulness that feels like energy but is actually cellular stress. If you're ready to take back control of your biology through light, hit that subscribe button right now. Because what I'm about to show you isn't just information. It's a complete rewiring of how you interact with light, and most people will never know this exists. Don't be most people. Subscribe. Now let me take you back to something you've probably never thought about. When was the last time you watched a full sunrise? Not glanced at it through a window? Not saw it on your phone screen? Actually sat outside and watched the sun come up from darkness to full daylight? Most people can't remember, and that's not an accident, that's by design. Because sunrise isn't just pretty. It's a biological necessity. In those first 30 minutes after dawn, the sun emits a very specific ratio of red and infrared light. This light penetrates your skin, enters your bloodstream, and does something absolutely critical. It charges your mitochondria. Your mitochondria are the power plants in every cell. They create ATP, the energy currency your body runs on, and they need red and infrared light to function optimally. But here's what most people don't know. Mitochondria don't just make energy, they're also the sensory organs of your cells. They detect light. They respond to electromagnetic frequencies. They communicate with each other through biophotons, which are literally packets of light your cells emit. Your body is a light-based communication system, and modern artificial lighting is jamming the signal. Dr. Jack Kruse, a neurosurgeon who's spent decades studying light and human biology, puts it like this. Blue light without red light is a toxin. And that's exactly what you're getting from LED bulbs, Fluorescent lights, phone screens, computer monitors, TVs, all of them emit blue heavy light spectrums without the balancing red and infrared wavelengths that natural sunlight provides. What does that do to you? It dysregulates your circadian rhythm, which is your body's master clock. Your circadian rhythm controls when you sleep, when you wake, when you produce cortisol, when you produce melatonin, when you digest food, when you repair tissue, when you consolidate memories. Basically, everything that makes you a functional human being. And your circadian rhythm is set by light, specifically by the color temperature and intensity of the light hitting your eyes at different times of day. When you get bright blue light in the morning, your body thinks it's noon. It stops producing melatonin, it ramps up cortisol, it signals wakefulness. That's good in the morning, that's how you're supposed to start the day, but when you get that same blue light at night from your screens and your LED bulbs, your body gets confused. It thinks the sun is still up. It suppresses melatonin production. It keeps cortisol elevated. It tells every cell in your body to stay awake, stay alert, stay in daytime mode. And you wonder why you can't sleep. You wonder why you're tired but wired. You wonder why you wake up at 3 a.m. with racing thoughts. It's not stress, it's not anxiety. It's light poisoning. Your biology is getting the wrong information from your environment, and it's responding exactly as it's designed to. The problem is the input, not you. Now let's talk about what they replaced. Before electric light, humans lived by the sun. You woke up with red and orange light at dawn. You spent your day under full spectrum sunlight. You wound down with amber and red light at sunset. You spent your nights in darkness or by firelight, which is pure red and infrared with no blue component at all. This pattern isn't arbitrary. It's how your DNA expects light to behave. Your genes evolved over millions of years under this exact sequence. Red in the morning to wake you gently. Full spectrum during the day to energize you. Red and amber in the evening to calm you. Darkness at night to repair you. And then, in 1879, Thomas Edison invented the incandescent light bulb, and everything changed. Suddenly, humans could extend daylight indefinitely. We could work at night. We could read at night. We could be productive after the sun went down. And we thought that was progress. We thought we had conquered nature, but nature doesn't get conquered. It gets ignored at your peril, because your biology didn't update when Edison flipped that switch. Your circadian rhythm still expected sunrise and sunset. Your mitochondria still needed red and infrared light. Your melatonin production still relied on darkness, but now none of that was happening. At first, it didn't seem like a big deal. Incandescent bulbs, while not perfect, at least emitted some red and infrared light. They were warm. They mimicked firelight to some degree. You could live under them without completely destroying your biology, but then they took even that away from you. Compact fluorescent bulbs, LED bulbs, these don't emit heat. They don't emit red or infrared. They emit almost pure blue and green light, cold light, artificial light, light that has never existed in nature until the last 20 years. And they told you it was better, more efficient, eco-friendly, better for the planet. But nobody told you what it does to your brain. Nobody told you that blue light at night suppresses melatonin by up to 50%. Nobody told you that chronic melatonin suppression is linked to cancer, diabetes, obesity, depression, cognitive decline, and basically every chronic disease that's skyrocketed since the introduction of artificial lighting. And nobody told you that melatonin isn't just a sleep hormone. It's the most powerful antioxidant your body produces. It repairs DNA. It fights cancer. It protects your brain. It regulates your immune system. And you're suppressing it every single night because you're staring at blue light until the moment you close your eyes. Dr. Alexander Wunsch, a German physician and one of the world's leading experts on light and health, studied this extensively. He compared the effects of incandescent bulbs, LED bulbs, and natural sunlight on human biology. And what he found was shocking. Incandescent bulbs, despite being inefficient, actually support human biology because they emit a warm spectrum similar to firelight. LED bulbs, despite being efficient, are biologically toxic because they emit cold blue light that disrupts every light-sensitive process in your body. And natural sunlight, that's the gold standard. That's what your DNA expects. That's what your mitochondria need. That's what your circadian rhythm is designed to follow. But you're not getting it. You wake up indoors under artificial light. You work indoors under fluorescent or LED lights. You stare at screens all day. You drive home at sunset when the most important light signal of the day is happening, and you miss it. You get home and turn on more LEDs. You watch TV. You scroll your phone. And then you wonder why you can't sleep, why you can't focus, why you feel exhausted no matter how much coffee you drink. It's not a mystery. It's cause and effect. Garbage light in, garbage biology out. And the solution isn't melatonin supplements or sleep hacks or biohacking gadgets. The solution is realigning your light environment with your biological design. Now let me show you exactly how light reprograms you at the cellular level, because this is where it gets wild. Your eyes contain specialized cells called intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells, or IPRGCs. Most people have never heard of these. They're not involved in vision. You don't see with them. They don't form images. They have one job and one job only. They detect light and send signals directly to your brain's master clock, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN. The SCN sits right above the optic chiasm in your hypothalamus. It's tiny. It's about the size of a grain of rice, but it controls everything. It's the conductor of your biological symphony. Every hormone, every neurotransmitter, every physiological process in your body is timed by the SCN, and the SCN is set by light. Here's how it works. When blue light hits your IPRGCs in the morning, they send a signal to your SCN that says, "It's daytime, wake up." Your SCN responds by stopping melatonin production, increasing cortisol, raising body temperature, increasing alertness, and priming your entire system for activity. This is perfect in the morning. This is how you're supposed to wake up. But when blue light hits your IPRGCs at night, they send the same signal. It's daytime. Wake up. Your SCN responds the same way. It stops melatonin. It keeps cortisol elevated. It maintains wakefulness. Except it's 10 p.m. and you're supposed to be winding down for sleep. But your biology doesn't know that because the light is telling it otherwise. And here's the kicker. Your IPRGCs are most sensitive to blue light around 480 nanometers. That's the exact wavelength that LED screens and LED bulbs emit most strongly. It's not a coincidence. It's the wavelength that most powerfully disrupts your circadian rhythm. And you're bathing in it from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. But it gets worse. Blue light doesn't just affect your sleep. It affects your mood, your metabolism, your immune function, your cognitive performance, everything. Let me break it down. Blue light exposure at night suppresses melatonin. We covered that. But melatonin does more than make you sleepy. It's a master hormone that regulates insulin sensitivity, leptin signaling, growth hormone release, immune function, and mitochondrial health. When you suppress melatonin chronically, you become insulin resistant. You gain weight, your immune system weakens, your mitochondria dysfunction, you age faster. Blue light also increases cortisol at night. Cortisol is your stress hormone. It's supposed to be high in the morning and low at night. That's a healthy cortisol curve. But when you're exposed to blue light at night, cortisol stays elevated. Your body thinks it's under threat. It stays in fight or flight mode. You can't relax. You can't digest food properly. You store fat. You break down muscle. You become chronically stressed without even realizing it. Blue light disrupts dopamine signaling in your brain. Dopamine is your motivation molecule, your focus molecule, your pleasure molecule. But dopamine is also light sensitive. Excessive blue light exposure, especially from screens, creates a dopamine roller coaster. You get spikes when you check your phone, crashes when you put it down. Over time, this desensitizes your dopamine receptors. You need more stimulation to feel good. You become addicted to your devices. You lose the ability to focus on anything that doesn't provide instant gratification. Sound familiar? Blue light reduces BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. BDNF is like fertilizer for your brain. It helps you grow new neurons, form new memories, learn new skills. When BDNF is low, your brain literally shrinks. You become forgetful. You lose cognitive flexibility. You age faster mentally. And chronic blue light exposure tanks your BDNF levels. Blue light damages your retinas over time. Your eyes have natural protection against sunlight because natural light contains red and infrared wavelengths that balance the blue. But artificial blue light without that red and infrared component is toxic to your photoreceptors. Over time, it leads to macular degeneration, the leading cause of blindness in adults. And it's skyrocketing since the introduction of LED lighting and smartphones. Every single one of these effects is documented in peer-reviewed research. This isn't speculation. This isn't theory. This is biological fact. Artificial blue light is poisoning you slowly, and almost nobody is talking about it. Now let's talk about what the right light does for you, because this is where it gets exciting. When you align your light exposure with natural patterns, your biology transforms. Let me walk you through a day done right. You wake up at dawn. You go outside. You watch the sunrise. You don't wear sunglasses. You let that early morning red and infrared light hit your eyes directly. What happens? Your IPRGCs detect the red light. They send a signal to your SCN. Morning has arrived, time to wake up. Your SCN responds by shutting off melatonin production, increasing cortisol gently, raising your body temperature, and setting your circadian clock for the next 24 hours. But there's more. That red and infrared light penetrates your skin. It enters your bloodstream. It reaches your mitochondria. And it does something incredible. It activates an enzyme called cytochrome C oxidase in your mitochondrial respiratory chain. This enzyme is the final step in ATP production. It's literally the switch that turns on your cellular power plants, and it's activated by red and infrared light. When your mitochondria are charged by morning sunlight, you have more energy, not fake caffeine energy. Real cellular energy. You think clearer, you move better, you feel alive. Because your cells are literally producing more ATP, the fuel that powers every function in your body. You spend your midday under full-spectrum sunlight, bright light, all the colors of the rainbow. What does this do? It signals daytime to your entire system. It keeps cortisol at healthy levels. It produces vitamin D, which isn't really a vitamin, it's a hormone that regulates over 200 genetic pathways. It produces nitric oxide in your skin, which lowers blood pressure, improves circulation, and supports cardiovascular health. It stimulates serotonin production in your brain, which stabilizes mood and creates a sense of well-being. Natural sunlight during the day is free antidepressant medication. It's free cardiovascular medicine, it's free immune support. And you're avoiding it because you've been told it's dangerous. You've been told to wear sunscreen, to cover up, to stay indoors. And meanwhile, depression rates, heart disease, autoimmune conditions, and cancer are all skyrocketing. Correlation? I don't think so. Then sunset arrives. You go outside again. You watch the sun go down. You let that amber and red light hit your eyes. What happens? Your iPRGCs detect the absence of blue light. They send a signal to your SCN. Daytime is ending. Prepare for rest. Your SCN responds by beginning melatonin production, lowering cortisol, dropping body temperature, and shifting your entire system into recovery mode. This is when your body heals. This is when your immune system activates. This is when your brain consolidates memories and clears metabolic waste through the glymphatic system. But this only happens if you allow darkness at night. Real darkness. Not LED lights, not TV screens, not scrolling your phone in bed. Actual darkness. And if you need light at night, you use red light, firelight, candlelight, red LED bulbs, salt lamps, sources that emit red and amber wavelengths without any blue component. This way, you can see without disrupting your biology. You can function without confusing your circadian rhythm. You can live like a human instead of a factory machine that never sleeps. When you do this, when you realign your light exposure with natural patterns, everything changes. You sleep better. You wake up feeling rested. Your energy is stable throughout the day. Your mood improves. Your focus sharpens. Your metabolism optimizes. Your hormones balance. Your immune system strengthens. You age slower. You think clearer. You feel like yourself again. This isn't a miracle. This is just biology working the way it's designed to work. But you've been living in an artificial environment for so long that you forgot what normal feels like. You've been told that being tired is normal, that needing coffee to function is normal, that sleeping poorly is just part of getting older, that anxiety and depression are chemical imbalances that require medication. But what if they're not chemical imbalances? What if they're light imbalances? What if the problem isn't your brain chemistry, but your environment? What if the solution isn't a pill, but a sunrise? Now let me show you the research that proves this isn't pseudoscience. In 2001, researchers at Harvard Medical School conducted a study on the effects of blue light exposure at night. They exposed participants to bright blue light for several hours before bed, then measured melatonin levels and sleep quality. The results were shocking. Blue light suppressed melatonin production by 50% compared to dim light. It delayed sleep onset by over 90 minutes. It reduced REM sleep, the restorative stage where memory consolidation and emotional processing happen. Participants reported feeling groggy and unfocused the next day even after a full night's sleep. Then they repeated the experiment with red light. Same brightness, same duration, but red wavelengths instead of blue. The results were completely different. Red light had almost no effect on melatonin production. Sleep onset wasn't delayed. REM sleep was normal. Participants woke up refreshed and alert. Same amount of light. Same timing. Different color. Completely different biological response. Why? Because your body responds to light based on wavelength, not just intensity. And red light tells your body it's evening, while blue light tells your body it's noon. Another study from 2011 looked at the effects of morning sunlight exposure on depression. Researchers had participants with seasonal affective disorder spend 30 minutes outside within an hour of waking up for 2 weeks. No medication, no therapy, just morning sunlight. Depression scores dropped by an average of 40%. Sleep quality improved, energy levels increased, mood stabilized. Why? Because morning sunlight sets your circadian rhythm, which regulates serotonin production, which stabilizes mood. And most people with depression have circadian rhythm dysfunction. Not because they're broken, but because they're not getting the light signals their biology needs. A 2013 study from Northwestern University found that office workers who sat near windows and got natural daylight exposure during work hours slept an average of 46 minutes longer per night than workers who had no window access. They also reported better sleep quality, more physical activity, and better overall quality of life. 46 minutes more sleep just from sitting near a window. Think about that. No drugs, no supplements, no sleep hygiene protocols, just natural light during the day, and their bodies responded by sleeping better at night. Because that's how it's supposed to work. A 2017 study looked at the effects of red light therapy on mitochondrial function. Researchers expose cells to red and infrared light at specific wavelengths, then measured ATP production. The results showed a 30 to 40% increase in cellular energy production after just a few minutes of red light exposure, and this wasn't in a petri dish. This was replicated in human studies with measurable improvements in muscle recovery, cognitive function, and metabolic health. Your mitochondria are light-powered. They need red and infrared light to function optimally. And when you give them that light, they produce more energy, which means you have more energy, not stimulant energy, not borrowed energy, real energy created at the cellular level. There are hundreds of studies like this, thousands, actually. The research is overwhelming. Light affects your biology in profound ways, and artificial light is making you sick. This isn't debatable, it's just not widely known because there's no money in telling people to watch the sunrise and turn off their screens at night. There's no pharmaceutical profit in that. There's no device to sell. There's no subscription service. But there is a solution, and it's free. And it's available to everyone, and I'm about to give you the exact protocol to reclaim your biology through light. First, morning light exposure. This is non-negotiable. Within 30 minutes of waking up, get outside. No sunglasses. Let the light hit your eyes directly. If it's sunny, 10 minutes is enough. If it's cloudy, aim for 20 to 30 minutes. If you can't get outside, sit by a window with the window open. Glass filters out the red and infrared wavelengths you need, so open it if possible. What if you wake up before sunrise? Use a red light therapy device or red LED bulbs until the sun comes up, then get outside. Do not use bright white or blue light to wake up. That's doing it backwards. You want gentle red light in the dark, then natural sunlight as the sun rises. Second, maximize natural light during the day. If you work indoors, position yourself near windows. Take breaks outside. Go for walks at lunch. Get as much natural sunlight as possible, especially between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., when the sun is highest and the light is most intense. This is when you're getting full spectrum light, vitamin D production, and all the metabolic benefits of midday sun. Don't wear sunglasses unless you're in extreme conditions like snow glare or desert sun. Your eyes need light exposure to set your circadian rhythm. Sunglasses block that signal. If you need eye protection, wear a hat with a brim that shields your eyes from direct overhead sun while still allowing ambient light to reach your retinas. And do not wear sunscreen unless you're going to be in direct sun for hours and hours without any shade. Your skin needs sunlight to produce vitamin D, nitric oxide, and beta endorphins. Sunscreen blocks all of that. Instead, build a base tan gradually. Start with short exposures, 10 to 20 minutes, then increase over time. Your skin will adapt. Your melanin will increase. You'll tan instead of burn, and you'll get all the health benefits of sunlight without the damage. Third, watch the sunset. This is just as important as sunrise. Within an hour of sunset, get outside and watch the sun go down. Let that red and amber light signal to your body that daytime is ending. This is when your melatonin production begins. This is when your body starts shifting into recovery mode. If you skip this step and go straight from bright indoor lighting to bed, your biology gets confused. You miss the transition. Your melatonin production is delayed. Your sleep quality suffers. Fourth, eliminate blue light after sunset. This is the hardest part for most people, but it's crucial. After the sun goes down, no blue light. That means no LED lights, no fluorescent lights, no TV, no phone, no computer, unless you're using red light filters. Here's how to do it. Replace your indoor lighting with red LED bulbs or incandescent bulbs. Red LEDs emit only red wavelengths with no blue component. Incandescent bulbs emit warm light with some red and infrared, which is much better than standard LEDs. You can find red LED bulbs online for cheap. Put them in your bedroom, bathroom, and any room you use after sunset. Use blue light blocking glasses if you need to use screens at night, but not the cheap orange ones that still let some blue through. Get real red lens blue blockers that block 100% of blue and green light. They look ridiculous. You'll look like a 1980s ski instructor, but they work. Your melatonin production won't be suppressed and you'll sleep better. Better yet, just turn off the screens. Read a book under red light. Have a conversation. Stretch. Journal. Meditate. Do things that don't require a glowing rectangle. Your brain will thank you. Your sleep will improve. Your mood will stabilize. And you'll actually feel present in your life instead of scrolling through someone else's. Fifth, sleep in complete darkness. I mean pitch black. No night lights, no alarm clock glow, no street lights through the window. Cover everything. Use blackout curtains. Tape over any LEDs on electronics. Your skin has photoreceptors. Light hitting your skin at night disrupts your circadian rhythm even if your eyes are closed. Your room should be so dark that you can't see your hand in front of your face. If you need to get up at night, use a red flashlight or red night light. No white light, no phone flashlight. Red light only. This way, you can see without disrupting your melatonin production or resetting your circadian clock. Sixth, consider red light therapy devices. These are LED panels that emit specific wavelengths of red and infrared light at therapeutic intensities. They're not essential, but they're powerful tools for mitochondrial health, especially if you live somewhere with limited sunlight or if you work indoors all day. Use them in the morning to boost energy and mitochondrial function. Use them in the evening for recovery and healing. 10 to 20 minutes a day is enough. You can find affordable panels online. They're an investment, but they're worth it if you're serious about optimizing your biology through light. And seventh, get your eyes checked for blue light damage. If you've been staring at screens for years under artificial lighting, there's a good chance you have some retinal stress or early macular degeneration. See an ophthalmologist who understands light toxicity, not just one who prescribes glasses. Get a baseline. Track your eye health. Protect your vision before it's too late. These 7 steps will completely transform your biology. You'll sleep better within days. You'll have more energy within a week. Your mood will stabilize within 2 weeks. Your metabolism will optimize within a month. And long-term, you'll age slower, think clearer, and feel more alive than you have in years. But here's the thing. Almost nobody will do this, because it requires changing your environment, changing your habits, and admitting that the modern world has been poisoning you with light. Most people would rather take a pill, buy a gadget, or blame their genes. Most people will read this, think, "That's interesting," and then go right back to staring at their phone under LED lights until midnight. Don't be most people. Your biology is not negotiable. You can't hack your way around circadian rhythm. You can't supplement your way out of light toxicity. You have to realign with nature or suffer the consequences, and the consequences are real. Chronic disease, cognitive decline, depression, anxiety, insomnia, obesity, hormonal dysfunction, accelerated aging, all of it linked to circadian disruption, all of it preventable by getting the right light at the right time. Now let me address the obvious objection. But I live in a northern climate where there's barely any sunlight in winter. What am I supposed to do? Fair question. And here's the answer. You do the best you can with what you have. You still go outside every morning, even if it's cloudy. Cloudy daylight is still 10 times brighter than indoor lighting and contains the full spectrum of wavelengths your body needs. You still watch the sunset when you can. You still eliminate blue light at night, and you supplement with red light therapy devices to make up for the lack of natural light. Humans have lived in northern climates for thousands of years. We adapted. We used firelight at night, which is pure red and infrared. We spent our days outside hunting, gathering, working, even in winter. We didn't sit under fluorescent lights in windowless offices for 10 hours a day. We got cold exposure, which has its own benefits. We synchronized with the seasonal changes in light, which is why we naturally sleep more in winter. The problem isn't living in a place with less sunlight. The problem is living disconnected from natural light cycles entirely and replacing them with artificial light that confuses your biology. Do what you can. Get outside. Use red light. Eliminate blue light at night. Your body will respond. Another objection. But I work night shifts. I can't just change my schedule. True. Night shift work is objectively terrible for your health. The research is clear. It increases your risk of cancer, heart disease, diabetes, obesity, depression, and early death. This isn't an opinion. This is documented fact. Circadian disruption from shift work is classified as a probable carcinogen by the World Health Organization. But if you have no choice, here's how to minimize the damage. Use bright, full-spectrum light during your work shift to keep yourself alert. Block all light when you sleep during the day. I mean complete blackout. Your room should be a cave. Use red light before your shift starts to avoid suppressing melatonin too early. And on your days off, try to sync with natural light cycles as much as possible to give your body a break. It's not ideal. It's not optimal. But it's better than doing nothing and letting your circadian rhythm get completely destroyed. Now let's talk about kids, because this is where it gets really dark. Children today are growing up under artificial light from birth. They spend their days indoors under LEDs and fluorescents. They stare at screens for hours. They rarely see sunrise or sunset, and their biology is paying the price. Myopia, nearsightedness, is skyrocketing in children. In some parts of Asia, over 90% of teenagers are nearsighted. Why? Because they're not getting enough outdoor time. Their eyes aren't getting the natural light signals needed for proper development. Studies show that kids who spend at least 2 hours outside every day have drastically lower rates of myopia. Not because they're looking at distant objects, because they're getting full-spectrum sunlight that regulates eye growth. ADHD diagnoses are exploding. Could some of that be circadian disruption? Absolutely. Dopamine regulation, focus, attention, impulse control, all of these are tied to circadian rhythm. When kids are bathed in blue light all day and night, their dopamine systems get dysregulated. They can't focus. They can't sit still. They crave constant stimulation. And instead of fixing their light environment, we drug them with stimulants. Childhood obesity, diabetes, early puberty, all linked to circadian disruption. Melatonin regulates leptin, the satiety hormone. When melatonin is suppressed by blue light at night, leptin signaling breaks down. Kids don't feel full. They overeat. They gain weight. And it's not their fault. It's their environment. Anxiety and depression in children and teens are at record highs. Is that because life is harder now? Or is it because their neurochemistry is being destroyed by light toxicity, screen addiction, and circadian chaos? I'd argue it's mostly the latter. Give a kid natural light exposure, time outside, darkness at night, and watch their mood stabilize. No medication needed, just biology working correctly. If you have kids, this is your responsibility. Get them outside in the morning. Limit screen time, especially after sunset. Replace their bedroom lights with red LEDs. Create a dark sleep environment. Teach them that light matters, because if you don't, they'll grow up sick, tired, anxious, and dependent on pharmaceuticals to manage symptoms that never should have existed in the first place. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Why isn't this common knowledge? Why aren't doctors telling you this? Why isn't it on the news? Why isn't it taught in schools? Simple. There's no profit in it. If people understood that they could fix their sleep, energy, mood, and metabolism just by changing their light exposure, entire industries would collapse. The sleep aid industry, worth billions. The antidepressant industry, worth tens of billions. The ADHD medication market, the coffee and energy drink market, the productivity software market, the biohacking gadget market. All of it relies on you staying sick, tired, and dependent on their solutions. But natural light is free. Darkness is free. Watching the sunrise costs nothing. There's no patent on sunlight. There's no subscription to the sky. You can't monetize the circadian rhythm. And that's exactly why they don't want you knowing about it. Instead, they sell you blue light blocking glasses that don't work well enough. They sell you sleep trackers that tell you your sleep sucks but don't fix the root cause. They sell you melatonin supplements that your body should be making naturally if you weren't bathing in blue light all night. They sell you expensive light therapy boxes that emit blue light to wake you up. which is backwards if you understand biology. The entire system is designed to keep you sick and dependent, not because of some grand conspiracy, but because that's what's profitable. Healthy people don't need products. Healthy people don't need medications. Healthy people don't need constant interventions. And healthy people don't make anyone rich except themselves. So they keep you in the dark, literally and figuratively. They tell you that artificial light is safe. They tell you that sunlight is dangerous. They tell you to avoid the sun, wear sunscreen, cover up, stay indoors. Protect yourself from the very thing your biology needs to thrive. And you believe it because it's repeated everywhere by people in white coats with credentials. But credentials don't mean truth. Consensus doesn't mean correctness. And just because something is accepted doesn't mean it's right. The truth is, modern lighting is a slow poison. It's disrupting your biology in ways that manifest as diseases you think are genetic, inevitable, or just bad luck. But they're not. They're environmental. They're fixable. And the fix is simpler than you think. Let me tell you what happens when you implement this. I've seen it in myself. I've seen it in others who've taken this seriously. Within a week, sleep improves. You fall asleep faster. You stay asleep longer. You wake up actually rested instead of hitting snooze 5 times and dragging yourself out of bed. Within 2 weeks, energy stabilizes. No more afternoon crashes. No more needing caffeine just to function. Your mitochondria are producing real energy because they're getting the light they need. You feel awake during the day and naturally tired at night, the way humans are supposed to feel. Within a month, mood improves, anxiety decreases, depression lifts. Not because you're thinking more positive thoughts, but because your neurochemistry is balanced. Serotonin, dopamine, melatonin, all of them regulated by light. All of them functioning properly now that you're giving your body the right signals. Within 3 months, metabolic health improves, insulin sensitivity increases, weight normalizes, inflammation decreases. Your body composition changes even if you haven't changed your diet or exercise. Why? Because circadian rhythm regulates metabolism. When your circadian rhythm is aligned, your metabolism works. When it's disrupted, nothing works, no matter how hard you try. Long term, you age slower. Telomeres, the protective caps on your chromosomes that determine how fast you age, are directly affected by circadian rhythm. People with healthy circadian rhythms have longer telomeres. They age slower. They live longer. They maintain cognitive function and physical vitality well into old age. Not because of genetics, because of environment, because of light. This is real, this is measurable, this is reproducible, and you can do it starting right now, today, this morning, tomorrow morning. Watch the sunrise. Get outside. Let the light hit your eyes. Turn off the blue lights at night. Sleep in darkness. That's it. That's the protocol. And it will change your life. But you have to do it. Knowledge without action is useless. You can know all of this and still live under LEDs and stare at screens until midnight. And if you do that, nothing will change. You'll stay tired. You'll stay sick. You'll keep wondering why you feel like garbage when you're doing everything right. Or you can take this seriously. You can treat light as the powerful biological signal it is. You can realign with nature instead of fighting it. You can reclaim your biology from the artificial environment that's been poisoning you. And you can feel alive again. The choice is yours. But I'll tell you this. Once you experience what it feels like to sleep well, have stable energy, think clearly, and feel genuinely good in your body, you'll never go back. You'll become militant about your light environment. You'll notice when you're in spaces with bad lighting and you'll feel the effects immediately. You'll protect your circadian rhythm like your life depends on it. Because it does. Your health, your energy, your mood, your longevity, all of it is downstream from your circadian rhythm. And your circadian rhythm is set by light. Fix your light. Fix your life. It really is that simple. So here's what I want you to do right now. Commit to 1 week, 7 days. Wake up and watch the sunrise, or at least get outside within 30 minutes of waking. Spend time outside during the day. Watch the sunset. Eliminate blue light after dark. Sleep in complete darkness. 1 week. That's all I'm asking. Track how you feel. Notice your sleep quality. Notice your energy levels. Notice your mood. Notice your focus. Don't change anything else. Same diet, same exercise, same supplements if you take them. Just change your light exposure and see what happens. I guarantee you'll notice a difference. You'll sleep better. You'll feel better. And you'll realize that this isn't some fringe biohacking thing. This is how humans are designed to live. This is what your biology has been screaming for while you ignored it and wondered why you felt terrible. 1 week. Prove it to yourself. And then decide if you want to keep living in alignment with nature or go back to the artificial world that's been slowly destroying you. My guess is you won't want to go back. Because once you feel what real energy and real health feel like, you can't unsee it. You can't unfeel it. You'll know the truth, and the truth will set you free. If this opened your eyes to something you've never considered before, if you're realizing that your entire life has been lived under the wrong light, drop a comment right now and tell me, what's the first thing you're going to change? Are you going to watch the sunrise tomorrow? Are you going to replace your LED bulbs with red lights? Are you going to stop scrolling your phone in bed? Tell me. I want to know. Let's build a community of people who understand that light isn't just something that lets you see. It's the primary signal that programs your entire biology, and subscribe if you haven't already. Because this is just the beginning. There's so much more they're hiding from you. The frequencies in your food, the toxins in your water, the electromagnetic pollution from wireless devices, the deliberate removal of essential nutrients from the soil, the truth about vaccines, the truth about pharmaceuticals, the truth about the medical system that profits from your sickness. We're exposing all of it, every lie, every hidden truth, every deliberately obscured piece of knowledge that could set you free. Because once you know how to take care of yourself, once you understand how your biology actually works, you become ungovernable. You stop needing their systems. You stop depending on their solutions. You become sovereign in your own body. And that terrifies them, because a population that knows how to be healthy is a population that can't be controlled. A population that understands that nature provides everything they need is a population that doesn't need to be sold anything. A population that realizes they've been lied to about the basics of human health is a population that starts questioning everything else. So yeah, they don't want you watching the sunrise, they don't want you turning off your screens at night, they don't want you sleeping in darkness, they don't want you realizing that the solution to most of your problems is free and has been available since the dawn of time. Because the moment you realize that, the moment you take back control of your light environment, your health, your energy, your life, they lose their power over you. And you become free. Free to sleep well. Free to think clearly. Free to feel good. Free to age gracefully. Free to live the way humans were designed to live. In rhythm with the sun. In harmony with nature. Aligned with biology instead of fighting it. This is your invitation. This is your wake-up call. The light you've been living under is killing you slowly. The light you've been avoiding, natural sunlight, is the key to everything. Your biology knows this. Your DNA remembers this. Your cells are screaming for this. All you have to do is listen. Watch the sun rise tomorrow. Feel the light on your skin. Let it enter your eyes. Notice how your body responds. Notice how you feel. And then ask yourself why nobody ever told you this was important. Ask yourself why you've been living in artificial light for decades thinking it was normal. Ask yourself what else they've been lying about. Because once you start questioning, once you start seeing the truth, you can't stop. And that's exactly what we're doing here. We're questioning everything. We're exposing the lies. We're reclaiming the knowledge that's been hidden from us. And we're building a community of people who refuse to be poisoned, programmed, and controlled anymore. Welcome to your liberation. It starts with light, and it ends with you taking back every aspect of your health, your life, and your power. The universe is waiting for you to wake up. The sun is rising, and you have a choice to make. Stay in the dark under artificial light, wondering why you feel terrible. Or step into the light, align with nature, and remember what it feels like to be truly alive. The choice has always been yours. But now you know what's at stake. Now you know what you've been missing. Now you know the truth. So what are you going to do with it? Are you going to ignore it and go back to sleep? Or are you going to take action and reclaim your biology? I already know your answer. You're still here. You're still reading. You're still listening. That means you're ready. You're ready to change. You're ready to wake up. You're ready to step into the light and never look back. So let's do this together. Let's rebuild our health from the ground up. Let's reject the artificial world that's been destroying us. Let's return to nature, to sunlight, to darkness, to the rhythms that our ancestors lived by for millions of years. Let's become the healthy, vibrant, sovereign beings we were always meant to be. Your journey starts tomorrow morning when the sun rises, and you rise with it. And you let that light reprogram you back to health, back to vitality, back to yourself. This is it. This is your moment. Don't waste it. The light is waiting. And so is the life you were meant to live. Go claim it.